sister brought over, she signed her name on it without a second thought and walked right into the operating room. Time ticked by, minute by minute. Just when everyone was sweating bullets from anxiety, a new problem arose. A nurse ran out in a sheer panic, her tone frantic. The hospital's blood bank is running low. The patient desperately needs a massive blood transfusion right now. Hearing this while waiting at the door, Genevieve and Aurelia immediately unbuttoned their cuffs. We have the same blood type as Crispin. We can donate, but the patient is hemorrhaging. The blood from just 2 people won't be enough. You need to contact more people. If we don't find people soon, it'll be too late. The 2 of us are enough. As long as we can save Crispin, you can drain as much as you need. The nurse couldn't win the argument against them and could only drag them into the blood transfusion room. The red light outside the operating room kept flashing, blurring my vision. From the moment Crispin relapsed to them donating blood, I had witnessed the entire circus firsthand. At this moment, my brain was completely blank. In my past life, when Serafina and Genevieve died for Crispin, I wasn't at the scene. I only found out the gory details afterward. At that time, I was drowning in grief, entirely unable to understand why they would throw away their lives to save me. After experiencing all of this, I finally understood. They simply loved Crispin, loved him to the point where they were willing to sacrifice absolutely everything for him. Whether it was their marriages or their lives, they would march to their doom without hesitation, wave after wave. So it was scientifically impossible for me to... I wasn't going to get tangled in their 4-way love. After the lights in the... However, the patient who donated the kidney will need to stay in the ICU. They said those 3 girls were just overflowing with too much charity, and in their hearts, they only fancied you. We don't know what exactly happened, so it wasn't our place to respond. You deal with it yourself. You're all grown up now, you have your own ideas and know your limits. Your dad and I won't meddle. I didn't want them to stress over it either, so I promised I would handle these messes perfectly. Over the next 2 days, I hired people to gather info on the Vanguard family and Beatrice Vanguard to do some preliminary research. Once I had a general impression, as soon as I arrived, I saw Serafina, Jennifer, waiting for me. They also brought me to marry my living. Facing my puzzled expression, the 3 of them exchanged glances and explained that these were prepared by their families. They made us come to your door personally to apologize. So we got a little overly emotional and ended up hurting you. Finally noticed the trunk load of stuff. Looked at the shiny diamonds in my hand, saying absolutely nothing. Serafina assumed to help me put it on. Genevieve also throwing up a thumbs up. Aurelia pulled out her phone and snapped several pictures, claiming she wanted to keep them as a souvenir. Since being reborn, this was the first time I had seen genuine smiles on their faces. And the reason they were so thrilled was that they mistakenly believed I still had refusing to move an inch, watching their mouths curve into uncontrollable sounds. Take them away. After dropping that line, I took massive strides back to my bedroom, ignoring them completely. Crispin put on a face of pure theatrical disbelief and pointed a finger at himself. Me? Take them away? Young master, you must be joking. How could I possibly be worthy of the gifts the young ladies gave you? Hearing the manufactured dejection in his tone, the three... Since Sterling said he's giving them to you, then they belong to you now. These clothes, figurines, and gaming consoles are the absolute newest releases. You'll definitely look super handsome in them. How could you not be worthy? Things only have value when someone uses them. Crispin, don't sell yourself short. You deserve the best things in the entire world. Hurry up and we'll help you pick out which ones suit you best. The sounds of the three of them babying Crispin gradually faded. Once the door clicked shut, total silence returned. The cold metallic sensation radiating from my wrist felt incredibly foreign, but I figured if I wore it long enough, I'd the amount of time they actually spent keeping me company was microscopic. Most of the time, they were downstairs. Drawing pictures of him. I took all of this in like a silent spectator, without popping their bubble. Occasionally, they would drag themselves upstairs to check on me, and they noticed a lot of things were missing from my room. Sterling, where did that pearl phone charm I gave you a few years ago go? Didn't you love the gemstone bracelet I gave you before? You insisted on putting it in the most obvious spot. Why hasn't it been there lately? Where did you hide the group photo we took when we were 18? Facing their interrogations, I randomly fabricated a few excuses to blow them off. Although they were suspicious, they didn't pry any further. By the day of my birthday banquet, my illness had pretty much cleared up. Before attending the party, my parents came to pick me up. Young master, you're getting married? I gave a minimal nod and didn't bother explaining. Anyway, soon enough, everyone and their grandmother would know about this marriage. At 7 p.m., the birthday banquet started right on the dot. The moment Serafina, Genevieve, and Aurelia walked in together, dressed to the nines in evening gowns, they stole the spotlight of the entire room. I am so jealous of young Master Mercer. He actually has 3 childhood sweethearts this stunning, and he even gets to pick one to marry. When will I ever have luck that absurd? What's the point of being jealous? Those are verbal arranged marriages from when they were kids. No matter who he picks, they're perfectly matched in social status. to you all. Aside from celebrating his birthday, we will also be announcing another joyous occasion today, and that is regarding the marriage alliance partner of my son, Sterling Mercer. Hearing this teaser, the entire banquet hall exploded into a boiling frenzy. The applause and cheering echoed endlessly. The most overly excited ones were the elders from the Frost, Croft, and Locke families. They stood up enthusiastically, waving their hands to call Aurelia, Genevieve, and Serafina over. The hearts of those three women thumped out of control. Their faces were so dark and grim you could wring water out of them. But they knew that in a setting like this, they had to maintain their high society etiquette. They used plastic smiles and reluctantly returned to their families.
If you're wondering where the feet picks could find your final rules, it's time to Eucerin's Golden Anti-Age Trio. Elasticity Serum.
Along with the guests, I turned my head, only to see a wild so hysterical, he looked like he was auditioning for a tragedy. Serafina, Genevieve, said you liked me. Only then did I sprout a little bit of hope. I would never, in my entire life, forget how just comfort me because I had a nightmare. I won't forget how, to celebrate my birthday, you used business trips as an excuse to take me to the Arctic to see the aurora. And I will never forget how, to save me, you donated a kidney and gave blood until you passed out. When you see this video, I will already be standing on the rooftop of the Mercer Group building. I know that one of you has to marry young Master Mercer, but whenever I think about how, after you get married and become his wife, you'll have to cut all ties with me and never contact me again. My heart feels like it's being sliced into a million pieces. I know you aren't doing it willingly. You're being forced by your families into this alliance. And I know that if you weren't terrified that your families would target me, you would absolutely never agree to marry young Master Mercer. I don't want to see you sacrifice the happiness of the rest of your lives just for me. So I've decided to end my own life today. Once I'm dead, you will have no more chains holding you back. Go freely and chase the true love in your hearts. The moment this grueling 5-minute video abruptly cut to black, the entire banquet hall plunged into a deathly graveyard silence. Staring in total, unadulterated shock. Just been struck by lightning, and the elders beside them, who were so furious they looked ready to pass out. I let out a barely noticeable sigh. With a scandal like this, the people finding it hardest to stomach were probably these uncles and elders who had watched me grow up. After all, my parents already knew that the person I was marrying wasn't any of these three high society misses who had ruined my past lives. Aside from shock, my parents probably only felt immense relief. As for these elders, who had been kept entirely in the dark and were still eagerly hoping our families would unite, now that they knew what those three had done for Crispin, they probably wouldn't dare bring up the memories of their natural lives. And indeed, exactly as I predicted, once the elders snapped back to exclusively filled with his safety, wishing they could sprout wings and fly directly to him to save the day. Therefore, the three of us will never ever marry Sterling Mercer in this lifetime. After dropping the absolute bombshell of a threat, they snatched up wine bottles and smashed them right the entire banquet hall adulterated chaos, filled with non-stop screaming. The three of them bust through the heavy siege and run off. Even his face. He is way too pitiful. Today is supposed to be his birthday, and now the brides ran away, and the party is smashed to bits. Do you think he's going to mentally snap on the spot? Facing these wild speculations, I maintained my breezy, Zen master expression. I gently patted my parents, who were still in shock, and took the microphone back. I spoke with complete composure. A small accident just occurred, and I apologize for startling everyone. Here, on behalf of my parents, I say sorry to you all. Aside from that, I also want to announce, my wedding will be held the day after tomorrow. My alliance about their reactions. I supported my parents, and we left the hotel. Throughout the cabin was so quiet you could clearly hear everyone's breathing. Right as we were about to get out, my parents let out heavy sighs and looked at us. Did you know that? So you insisted on canceling the alliance? Daughter from the Vanguard. Although she throws her nauseatingly lovey-dovey couple stage. Hearing me speak with such absolute certainty, my parents were a bit surprised. You trust Beatrix Vanguard that much? I gave a slight nod. The true reason. In my previous life, Beatrix Vanguard remained unmarried. That this chess move I was making would absolutely not go wrong. After this clown show of a birthday banquet ended, I went home and started hyper-focusing on packing my bags. The wedding was in the north. The day before the wedding, the Vanguard family dispatched several private jets to deliver the dowry. I was just about to at the time. There were still 4 or Crispin is innocent and shouldn't be dragged into this. You've always been a favorite of the elders since we were kids. If you just go coax them a bit, they'll definitely cool off. Sweet talk the elders, then looking at their retreating backs for the first and absolute last time, I called out to them. Before we part ways, could you guys say happy birthday? For some inexplicable reason, hearing this sentence made a violently strange feeling surge in the hearts of Serafina, Genevieve, and Aurelia. They all parted their lips, wanting to ask why I was making them say this. But when the words reached their throats, they exchanged glances, and then in perfect robotic unison, they said, happy birthday. The second the words dropped, the hospital called walked straight out. I didn't try to make them stay either. Watching their cars speed away into the distance, I went home, permanently deleted the contact info for all 3 of them, grabbed my luggage, and boarded the helicopter arranged by the Vanguard family. In this life, I chose 0 out of 3. Instead, I chose to sprint headfirst into my brand new life. By the time Serafina wiped the tears from the corner of Crispin's eyes, her gaze practically overflowing with pity. Yeah, your body just recovered. You can't have major emotional swings. Rest up well. We'll stay here with you. Watching Serafina's actions, Genevieve felt she was a step behind and quickly chimed in. Right, we will all stay with you. Aurelia also refused to be outdone. You It rang until it disconnected, and she still didn't pick up. The phones of the other two also started ringing consecutively. They also universally chose to ignore him, until Serafina's phone started ringing for the second time. Just answer it. What if it's an emergency? Genevieve and Aurelia said in unison. Serafina finally picked up the phone and put it on speaker. Hello, Crispin. What's wrong? Sarah, are Jen and Aura with you? Yeah, I have you on speaker. Voice blasted from the speaker. Sarah, Jen, Aura, I am truly... Their heads full of question marks. Though they had been reluctant, they had absolutely never actively refused the marriage alliance. Wait, wasn't it because you guys rejected the alliance? Three of them wore identical faces of sheer cosmic horror. Sterling Mercer married into the Vanguard family. Sterling Mercer. Did Sterling throw himself into the They frantically pulled out their phones and searched the news, looking at the endless promotions from marketing accounts on their screens. Illegitimate daughter of Vanguard family ascends. Just because he's throwing a fit with us. Genevieve felt the exact same way. Upon being so stubborn, far away in the north, looking at the avalanche of texts. I figured they must have received the returned heirslims. My mom said to me, Sterling, go fetch your bride. Hearing this, I nodded. Mom, Dad, I will have a happy family. I had no way to guarantee my parents. So I could only promise them that after leaving those three behind, I wouldn't repeat the disasters of my past life. Vanguard was acting wildly different from what they had imagined. Maybe their son's choice really was right. In the wedding car, Beatrix didn't know what to say, and neither did I. So for a moment, the atmosphere was stiffer than a board. We both opened our mouths to speak at the exact same time. Looking at her nervous, deer in headlights expression, I suddenly relaxed completely. I smiled radiantly and said, "You first." Beatrix looked at her slim, handsome groom and felt a surge of worry. "Are you hungry? I prepared some snacks for let's talk about why you looked like you already knew me for years. Hearing this, Beatrix's smile awkwardly paused. Am I supposed to tell my husband that I just picked up his student ID in high school, fell in love at first sight with his ID photo, and then got fatally attracted to him after watching him save someone from school bullies? Beatrix thought about it and decided to come clean. I went to the same high school as you. How come I have zero memory of you? Back then, I hadn't been brought back to the Vanguard family yet. I left right after I was taken back. Ah, that makes sense. A boom of thunder startled both of us. A torrential downpour began outside the window. We ignored the weather and kept chatting, both eager to understand each other better. Meanwhile, the three people in the rain seemed to have been entirely forgotten by the universe. They stubbornly stood in the torrential downpour, letting the storm batter them. The rain was heavy, but it couldn't wash away the agonizing pain in their hearts. Didn't I like Crispin? Why does Sterling getting married hurt this much? Aurelia's question left the other two speechless. Looking at their silence, she mumbled softly to herself, Do you think Sterling will really never forgive us? No way. Sterling has always been the softest toward us. He knows we're standing in the rain. He'll definitely come out. Right, he always cared about us the most. The three of them stood in the rain, high on their own supply of pure delusion, until Seraphina's body finally gave out and she collapsed. The other two tried to help her up, but their own bodies gave out and collapsed right next to them. When Crispin arrived at the base of his own double face, this was the exact tragic painting he witnessed. All three of them face down in the mud. He frantically called an ambulance and rushed them to the hospital. The patients recently donated a kidney and haven't fully recovered. Being caught in such a heavy storm caused a high fever. These two also suffered from severe blood loss previously and haven't recuperated. The rain triggered their high fevers. In the hospital, Crispin looked utterly exhausted trying to take care of three people by himself. He constantly wiped their foreheads and kept a hawk's eye on their IV drips. Aurelia and Genevieve woke up first. Seeing they were in the hospital room, they both delusionally assumed I was the one who sent them there. Looking at the still unconscious Seraphina and feeling their own weak bodies, they suddenly didn't feel so bad anymore. Footsteps approached from outside the door. Both of them stared eagerly at the door, fully expecting it to be me. Before they could even speak, Crispin walked in. Simultaneously, their faces dropped in visible, crushing disappointment. Jen, Aura, you're awake! Crispin looked overjoyed and entirely missed their reaction. I was worried to death. He walked to the bedside, raising his hand to check Genevieve's temperature. She flinched and dodged his hand. Crispin's eyes instantly went red. I'm fine. Go take care of Aura, Genevieve said, not understanding why she suddenly felt violently repulsed by his touch. I'm fine too. You should go look after Sarah. Looking at Crispin staring at her with extreme puppy dog pity. For some reason, Aurelia had absolutely zero desire to coax him. You guys are too much! Crispin turned his head away, refusing to look at them, fully expecting them to panic and comfort him like they used to. He waited for an eternity. Absolute crickets. Feeling something was horribly off, he turned around, only to see both of them staring blankly at the ceiling, lost in their own thoughts. Neither of them gave a single microscopic damn about his emotional state. Just as he was about to speak, Seraphina woke up. Sarah, you're finally awake. You don't know how they. As soon as Seraphina opened her eyes, she was blasted by Crispin's endless, annoying whining. It gave her an instant migraine. She couldn't hold back and snapped. Shut up! Crispin froze like a deer in headlights. What happened? Why are all three of them treating me like this? Seeing Crispin's tears, Seraphina felt nothing but sheer irritation. That old feeling of heartache was completely gone. Standing outside the Vanguard estate, they had finally seen their own hearts. They were loved. That was why they couldn't physically handle the fact that I married someone else. Their feelings for Crispin were just cheap pity spawned from his overly fragile, pathetic act. If they wanted to win me back, they had to back Crispin up and shoo him away. Crispin looked at the three of them, all wearing expressions of deep contemplation. Panic set in. That panic was growing exponentially. He didn't know what else to do, so he defaulted to his only strategy, playing the weak victim with the power. You three are going too far. I dragged my own sick, weak body here to take care of you with all my heart, and this is how you treat me when you wake up. Looking at the Discord. He is such a bitch. He loudly cursed me, completely abandoning his usual punching bag submissive persona. Perhaps this was his true face all along. If you keep saying these things, I guarantee you will regret it. Serafina glared at him murderously. Crispin was instantly jolted back to reality. These were the heirs of the four great wealthy families. Sure, they had pampered him before, always acting gentle and polite in front of him, but that didn't mean they were actually nice people. He had witnessed firsthand how ruthlessly and sadistically they could psychologically break someone who offended them. Crispin's body went stiff, cold sweat drenching his back. He immediately tried to play dumb. You guys just woke up, your heads aren't clear. I'll go to the doctor. After saying this, he walked out. You go to hell. Passing medical staff were genuinely terrified by his unhinged expression. He quickly forced his face back to normal and went to get them food. If he wanted to maintain his current luxury lifestyle, how could he ever willingly return to being wealthy? He had clearly possessed all of this. Ever since I found out Beatrix had a secret crush on me, I started putting effort into responding to her love. And newlyweds, we were stuck together like glue 24/7. Our relationship skyrocketed. There was just one tiny thing I couldn't quite handle. Even though I had been married 3 times in my past lives, he treated me like a human. I had literally zero experience with actual physical intimacy. Ever since marrying Beatrix, she practically locked me down every night until the a.m.s. It was another one. Beatrix was wearing a highly transparent mesh napkin, one shoulder slipping down, lying seductively on the bed. Hubby.
Just as powerful as turning the germ world upside down. To pinpoint the location. Upon receiving the coordinates, all three ripped out their IV drips, changed clothes, and sped toward the hot spring resort. When Crispin returned to the room, he only caught sight of their rapidly departing backs. He dropped everything in his hands and scrambled for phone. By the time the three of them reached the resort, several hours had passed. I had already finished soaking in the hot springs with Beatrix and was eating in the restaurant. Sterling Mercer, you absolute bastard! You said you were taking me here to relax, but instead, Beatrix couldn't bring herself to finish the sentence. Thinking about my extracurricular activities inside the hot spring, her face instantly went thermonuclear red, and she glared at me with eyes full of springtime passion. Getting glared at like that by Beatrix made my heart itch. But I knew if I didn't properly coax her right now, I might be sleeping on the couch tonight. Wifey, I deeply and profoundly realize my mistake. Don't be mad. Eat something. You must be exhausted from all that, right? Still puffing her cheeks, Beatrix took a vicious bite of the steak I offered, staring at me like a predator. She was as immaculate as magical to me, while she functioned like a to me, she was insanely adorable. My heart was practically melting into a puddle. I kept hand-feeding her until she literally couldn't stop the bite. And only then did I slowly start thinking what else to do. When Serafina, Genevieve, and Aurelia finally announced this was the scene they witnessed. Me, looking at them beside me, face full of radiant smiles, my eyes overflowing with absolute adoration. Sweet diabetes based atmosphere between the two of us that never before, no third person could ever breach. This image violently stabbed into the hearts of the three. They felt like they were suffocating. In the past, those smiles were their exclusive property. Right now, the restaurant was mostly empty. Three of them walked toward us with heavy, funeral-like expressions. We were so sure Abigail didn't notice them at first, assuming it was just waitstaff passing by. But when I realized they had been hovering there for way too long, I looked up. Seeing it was those three, my smiling face instantly flatlined into a mask of pure annoyance. What are you guys doing here again? Didn't I make myself explicitly clear last time? Seeing my face drop faster than the stock market, Serafina, Genevieve, and Aurelia felt another stab to their souls. Serafina carefully, timidly opened her mouth. Sterling, we specifically came to find you. We want to talk, can we? Beatrix went full protective wife mode. What could you possibly have to talk about with my husband? Even though her husband had assured her he felt less than zero for them, she still didn't want him alone with them.
They grew up together for over 20 years. Crispin was choked mid-sentence. I just didn't want you to get hurt. Why are you so unappreciative? Those 3 young ladies you mentioned are the 3 losers currently pestering my husband inside. They did a terrible society. So, if you keep harassing me, I won't show an ounce of mercy. You aren't in love with me. You're just... Rugby. So I can get football. It's discovery in short.
Ay, ya.
You're just butthurt that the guy who
Van
always
a
followed
ver
you
la
around like a
lolita.
loyal puppy. Flashing neon lights. I was warned. He absolutely despised me. Meanwhile, the trickling from the gem shards in their legs, and the torn photo on the ground. None of them spoke a word. I refused to go back with them. I thought they were bad luck. I thought knowing them was a curse. Serrated knives plunging into their hearts, twisting violently until their souls were nothing but minced meat. The three of them felt a level of psychological agony they had never known before. Nobody moved. They just stood there, heads bowed, silently weeping, tear after tear. An unknown amount of time passed before Serafina finally raised her head. Someone back on the very first try anyway. Though their mouths spouted these confident words, their inner voices were screaming with doubt. Is refusing to give up really going to work? Did he really let go that fast? Was he truly just lashing out in anger? The three of them finally stood up, because they had stood still for so long, their legs were completely numb. They dragged themselves out of the restaurant, completely failing to notice Crispin standing nearby like a ghost. Being utterly ignored, Crispin watched their retreating backs, his heart consumed by an inferno of rage. He remembered how he had initially won their special treatment by heroically protecting them from a gang of street thugs. Sure, he was the one who hired the thugs in the first place, but the result was perfect, right? They accepted him. His life at school became paradise. Even his dad got a raise because of his new status. He had learned from a young age, if you want something, you have to be totally ruthless to get it. He pulled out his phone, fired off a text message, and let out a neurotic, psychotic giggle. The second I walked out of the restaurant, I saw Beatrix's face broadcasting the message. I am very unhappy. I practically jogged over and wrapped my arms around her, pulling her into a massive bear hug. Beatrix felt my hug and her anger instantly evaporated. She still intentionally used a cold voice. Oh, so you do remember you have a wife waiting outside for you in misery? I thought you forgot about me since you guys chatted for so long. Knowing full well she couldn't stay mad at me, I was more than happy to play the doting husband. Wifey, let's go home. With my arm wrapped securely around her waist, we walked briskly toward the car. The next day, Beatrix's legs were jelly, and she was bedridden for the entire day, and I reverted back to my dutiful little house husband persona. I know I was wrong, but I will absolutely do it again. I gave her massages and hand-fed her meals, simply refusing to back down. Note to self, exercise more restraint in bed. I don't know what other women are like, but I seriously cannot handle how addictive this woman is. Crispin followed the three women back to the hospital. Seeing them lying like corpses in their hospital beds, he plastered on a bright smile and walked in. Sarah, Jen, Aura, I brought you dinner. See if you like it. His energetic greeting failed to elicit a single twitch from any of them. Crispin stiffened for a microsecond, but covered it up instantly. Even though they were ignoring him, he continued setting up the food. Once it was set up, he went to each of them, gently tugging them to come eat. Having starved for an entire day, the three eventually got out of bed and ate. Crispin buzzed around them like a loyal servant serving them food. As they ate, watching him scramble around, all three of them simultaneously thought, if only this was Sterling. Once Crispin finished playing the perfect maid, they finally spoke. We've troubled you a lot recently. Whatever you want, name it. We will give you absolutely anything you ask for. Hearing this, Crispin wasn't stupid. He knew exactly what this meant. They had made up their minds to sever all ties with him. If you're going to be heartless, don't blame me for being vicious. His heart was brimming with toxic resentment, but his face remained that of a pitiful, helpless victim. He looked at them, tears welling in his eyes. Is this the kind of person I am in your eyes? Did you think I took care of you just because I wanted a payout? The three of them just stared at him in dead silence. The tears that used to be his ultimate weapon now seemed to have completely expired. He aggressively wiped his tears and forced a brave face. I understand. I don't want anything. Tomorrow, can you accompany me on one final date? He looked like he was suffering from terminal heartbreak, lowering his head and clutching his chest. After a long pause, he looked up at them again. Just treat it as a final farewell, please. Aurelia looked at his pathetic state and felt a tiny flicker of her own pity. She opened her mouth. Okay. Serafina and Genevieve were already hesitating, and hearing Aurelia agree, they exchanged a glance and nodded their consent. The next day, the sun was shining brightly. Perfect weather for a date. Crispin was dressed in a white hoodie, wearing a baseball cap, his hair styled to perfection. The three women just wore simple, casual clothes. Crispin was secretly ticked off by their lack of effort, but thinking about the grand finale he had planned, he couldn't be bothered to argue. The group of four set out. Throughout the journey, only Crispin's voice could be heard. Aurelia threw him an obligatory response, while the other two remained totally mute. No matter how hard Crispin tried to hype up the mood, they remained entirely steady. Eventually, even he shut up, comparing how their date used to be to his funeral procession. Crispin's face almost cracked under his strain. The three women took a deep moment to discuss depressing thoughts, and none of them noticed the brief, psychotic glitches. Serafina, Genevieve, and Aurelia shrieked in absolute horror. Crispin! Snapping back to reality, Serafina frantically dialed for an ambulance. The other two carefully cradled his broken body. Crispin! How do you feel? Crispin! It His plan was a flawless victory. He strained to put on his most tragically beautiful smile, speaking with breath as frail as a spider. After dropping that Oscar-winning line, he pretended he couldn't hold on. Their faces tight with anxiety. Their minds were a chaotic mess. They had originally planned. Now he had suffered such catastrophic injuries. Jaw-dropping disbelief. What? Both of them snapped their heads toward her. This con The three of them gently stroked his hair and walked out. The exact millisecond the door clicked shut, Crispin's eyes locked onto it, and a sinister, villainous smirk split his face. Go, Serafina, Genevieve, Aurelia. Go turn into mortal enemies with your beloved Sterling Mercer. I hope you guys literally hate each other to the grave. That is the only my position will be permanently secured. He pulled out his phone and texted the hitman driver to lay low and not get caught. Just picturing the four of us tearing each other to shreds made Crispin so euphoric he practically forgot he had just been hit by a car. The physical pain seemed to magically vanish. Meanwhile, arriving at the Vanguard estate, the three of them were predictably barred at the gates again. This time, they didn't wait around like idiots. They bombarded my phone using different numbers and even tried to ram their cars through the security barricade. Irritated beyond human limits, I finally walked out to face them. Naturally, a small army of heavily armed bodyguards flanked me. To them, these three were clinically insane, and Beatrix was hyper-anxious about my safety. The moment I stepped out, Serafina aggressively interrogated me. Sterling, do you really hate us this much? I was standing there, utterly baffled, having literally zero clue what she was barking about. We only made a few. Are you throwing away decades of affection just to see us dead? Thinking about how slapped with these astronomical accusations. Didn't I tell you guys last time to never trigger my bad luck by showing up in front of me? Why are you out here barking? Hired someone to run us over. We won't hold that against you. But you injured Crispin, and you for that. Into half a day, I finally translated their gibberish and figured out why they were genuinely. Unblocked them, created a group chat, and dumped a bunch of on a pedestal? Why is this happening? Did they find out? Impossible. It happened way too fast. Crispin, why don't you take a good look at these before you open your mouth? Serafina signaled a bodyguard who rolled out a TV screen. It began playing the CCTV footage I had sent them, ending with the driver's damning evidence. After watching it all, Crispin knew that whatever lies he spun now would be totally useless. He could only try to squeeze out a few pathetic tears, hoping to trigger muscle memory of their past pain. But the three of them were completely, biologically immune to his tears now. No amount of crocodile. Crispin, don't you just love getting...
Boy, don't forget to like and subscribe.
I think like your man.
Yeah, la, I got pool. I got pool.